What does safety have to do with sex? And isn't safety kind of boring? My name is Annette Bolsh and my channel is Wise Women's Sexuality, and I'm here to support women to find and make the most of their sexuality and their pleasure. So what does safety have to do with truly great sex? Often when we see sex portrayed in the media, and often when we think about sex, we're looking for excitement, we're looking for risk-taking, we're looking for that edge. And isn't safety the opposite of that? Well, risk-taking can absolutely take us to a place in sex which is very pleasurable. But to get the absolute most out of sex, it really takes coming from a different place. It takes from feeling truly safe in our bodies, because safety is not a mind thing. It's actually an experience in our bodies. It's neurological. Talking about safety, I don't mean security or stability. I mean this physical experience inside of our bodies. And most of our problems as women in sex come from this feeling of being unsafe. And often we don't even recognize that we're feeling unsafe until we bring it to our awareness. And what happens when we're feeling unsafe is that we go into protection mode. And in protection mode, our defenses are right up. So when we're in protection mode, we can find ourselves being in high levels of self-judgment, high levels of mental activity, levels of feeling like we've got walls, we've got numbness, we're trying to get it right, trying to be perfect. All of these things are protections against this feeling of being unsafe in our bodies. And we've become unsafe in our bodies because we've had experiences and moments where we've been treated with or experienced a lack of love, a lack of care. And that can even be generational, all the way back through to the witchery archetype, where women have been seen in their sexual pleasure to be wrong. When, as women, we feel safe in our bodies, we actually feel empowered. We feel empowered to make good choices for ourselves. And we feel empowered to actually really let go. Because if we're not feeling safe in our bodies controlled by our primal nervous systems are actually going to be saying, no, not going there, don't feel safe, because the primal brain is all about survival and it wants to survive more than anything else. So how can we surrender into greater and greater pleasure? How can we let go into that when our primal brains are saying, hold on, it's not safe? Safety can be at many different levels. It can be physical safety, which is what we usually think of when we think of safety, but it can also be mental safety, a freedom to let go of having to think and really be on guard. It can be emotional safety, feeling safe to actually express our feelings at whatever way that they're actually happening. It can be sensational safety, where we actually have permission to feel the sensations that arise in our body, in our pleasure, however they may be. And it's also about feeling safe to be who we are, however we are in our sexual experience. So rather than making ourselves wrong when we're in excessive judgment or excessive mental thinking, or feeling like our walls are up, our numbness is happening, it can be more helpful to actually ask ourselves, are we feeling safe? And if we're not sure of what safety even feels like, can you think back to a time in your life when you did feel really safe? When you could just let your guard down, when you could just be at ease. You may even not have any idea what it feels like to feel safe. If your nervous system has spent a lot of time in protection, in a lot of time of feeling unsafe, you might not even know what safety is. So maybe you might need to imagine what it would feel like to feel safe, if this is the case. Because once you know what it feels like to feel safe, and you start to recognize the signs of feeling unsafe, you can start to work with it. You can start to ask yourself, what's happening here? Am I in judgment? Do I have my walls up because I'm not feeling safe? And you can ask your body, because your body is where this safety thing really exists. Ask your body, where do you not feel safe right now? Take your attention down into your body and notice. And notice what the sensations of that feels like. And taking a moment or two just to breathe gently in and out of that unsafe place. And just notice what it needs to feel safe. And give yourself that thing, whether it's closing the door or whether it's putting another blanket on or whether it's finding an internal safety, like bringing in a spirit guide, some kind of imaginary support, because your imagination doesn't know if it's real or not. And allow yourself to sink into this safety. Allow yourself to step out of being controlled by your primal brain and step back into your neocortex, where you can make decisions that are good for you, where you can be empowered in your decision making. So that's how safety can be really, really sexy. It gives you choice and it gives you power. So maybe just asking yourself, where in your life do you feel safe? And starting to build this relationship between safety and unsafety, and slowly become more and more safe and feel more and more sexy, more and more willing to let go and really experience more pleasure than you've ever dreamed you might be capable of. If you enjoyed this video, I'd really love you to subscribe and like this video so that even more women can start to experience more safety, more pleasure, and more fulfillment in their sex.